before I start, quick shout out to Silver Studios for sponsoring me making this video. So I'm going to show you how Athar works really simply. Check out this corner for Shide's video. He goes really into depth on how Athar works, but I'm just going to give you what you need to know. I'm not going to bore you out using weird keywords that you don't really need to know. For the most part, I just name things myself. And Izza keeps yelling at me for naming them the wrong things, but I'm always right. So I'm going to start on the home screen. You would be here when you first start out, once you picked your deck and stuff. And then I'm going to go into the battles icon. By the way, I'm hoping I'm pointing in the right direction. Like, if I get it wrong, I'll just put something in the editing to make it clear what I'm talking about. Now here I've got three options. If I had somebody to play with, I'd pick this option. If I had somebody to play with in private, I'd pick this option. I feel like my hand's going through there. And I'm going to pick this one, the top one, story mode, so I can show you around the game. So see this screen here before every game? This is where you pick your formation. That's going to be important later. So pick it wisely. Now that you've picked your formation, you can see it right here. Yep, right there. You can see your formation in the top left, and that's a key way of winning. But what's more important is this picture right here of this building. That building's your stronghold, and I did tell you I'm not going to mess around with weird terminology. You can call it your house if you want, but you need to place that wisely too. If you watch, I'm going to place it where my formation is, and you can see one of the boxes go yellow in the top left, because that's one of the ways of winning. And right here, our enemies just place their caravan, which is also their stronghold. Usually your enemy has two key zones. There's two blue boxes around mine, and there's one red box around theirs. That's the second way of winning. You don't even need to place any cards in that key zone, but if you can control your enemy key zone, and I'll tell you what control means later, you instantly win the game. And it's clearly easier for me to do it because they only have one key zone and I've got two. And also I'm playing against an AI. Now, let me draw your attention to all of these pictures down here. These are my cards, and you can see they have arrows on them. Here I'm placing my Thabit, and those two arrows point to boxes, and they've gone blue. That means I control those boxes, so I can place what I want in those boxes. Now, if you wait for my opponent to place their cards, these arrows have an even cooler use. So I just place my Sword of the Sands, and one of the arrows points into one of his cards. So now I have the ability to remove his card from the board. So right there, my opponent just, I don't even know what they did. They just rotated the card left and right, so they basically did nothing. And I've just seen an opportunity to win the game. So I've got this card here, Book by his Apprentice, with the pointer that goes up to the right and to the left. Now I'm going to place that to the left of his card, which now points into his key zone. Right about there. So that when I remove his card, his key zone becomes contested. And that's when it goes yellow, as you can see. And let me give you a pro tip. This next card I'm about to place does not require any energy to place, which is how I won the game. So now this card is readily pointing into his key zone. It didn't cost any energy, and I took control of this stronghold. So to recap, you have a bunch of cards with arrows that point into boxes when you place them. If you can use those arrows and point into other cards, you can remove those cards. If you have enough arrows pointing into your opponent's key zones, which is with their stronghold, then you win the game instantly. Or if you put your cards inside the key zones, that also works. If you can complete the formation that you picked at the start of the game, then you can win by ambush, which I didn't do in this game, but it's a viable way of winning. Daniel from the future here. I forgot to record an outro for this clip, but go to www.playathar.com. If you can beat me, I don't know what happens, you beat me though, and you get clout.